In this video we'll look closer on stock wood. I've always been interested in admire a nice piece of wood, so come along and we see what Katzenmeier can offer. I'm now in Kurt Katzenmeyer's stand here on the IWA show talking to Stefan. You are the 5th generation dealer in stockwoods, correct?
Yes, that's correct. Thank you very much for being here.
I think that's fantastic. I always like to admire a fine piece of a tree. Can you tell me a little bit about where does this come from and which tree does it come from?
Yes, sure. So the pieces that you see behind us, those are pieces from the walnut root. So it varies a little bit from where they come from. So it started off as a small company we are based in Germany. So it started off we were cutting walnut trees in Germany. But then after the Second World War there were no trees anymore left. So then we extended our origins to France. And after that there were no trees left there either. So then we moved our production to Turkey. And but the pieces that you can see on the background, those are Caucasian pieces. So these are pieces of walnut that are coming from Georgia, Kazakhstan, Syria, Iran, Iraq, and then they are imported to Turkey, from where we then import them to Germany. That's how it works, pretty much.
And it's the root tree, the root of the tree you use?
Yes, exactly, that's the root, yeah. So it's very difficult to actually get them, so you need to dig out the root, and so we can talk a little bit more about the process if you want.
And exactly, when it comes to the process, when they have taken out the root, can you just go here and use the wood directly? Or?
Yeah. I wish it would be that easy, but it's unfortunately not so easy. So first of all, you need to find these walnut trees. It's not like a forest where you can see that it's a walnut forest. They usually stand by themselves alone on a field. So first of all, and usually what happens is you see this tree and there are no roads to this tree. So you first need to build these roads to get there. So then you see these trees and they have to be 200, 300 years old because the root, the bigger it is, the more texture the material has. So that's the first step. So you need to find a big tree that stands alone. You need to get there. In the second step, you actually cut off all the branches and dig out the root, which is a lot of work. Trust me, it's a lot of work. So for instance, there were some in Canada. For instance, as a punishment, you have to dig out the root. So it's a lot of work and it's not very easy. So then you have this root out there. Then you need to dig it out, and then the more trouble begins. So then you put it into a factory where you start cutting the root in slices, and in these slices you can have rocks. You have stone, you have dirt. So it's not very easy to find a root that's suitable. So in the next step, you cut these pieces of wood into like 5 meter long pieces and 3 meters wide, 5 meters long, and then you put them into a steaming room where you kill the bacteria, where you kill all the viruses and all the things that are inside that don't need to be in the tree, the parasites and stuff. And then it comes back, and then there's a guy that actually looks at the long pieces and cuts, he draws the pieces that he would like to have. And then he cuts them further down. And so at the end of the process, you actually have 70% of the roots is actually waste, and 30% can actually be used to produce a walnut gunstock.
That sounds like a pretty big process.
Yes, yeah, and there's lots of uncertainty in this process because it's nature and nothing's perfect in nature. So you cannot plan it and you cannot really look through the tree. So there can be so many risks and uncertainties in the tree. So it's very difficult to get a nice piece of wood.
Yeah, I realize that. And I also heard that they have to be stored a pretty long time before you can use it. So really dry.
Exactly. Yeah. So after you've cut out these pieces of wood, they're wet. So what happens then? They need to be dried 3 to 5 years to get into a percentage of 10 to 12% of wetness. Yeah. So during these 3 to 5 years, after that you can actually work on them. Before that, it's not workable.
Okay. When it comes to like we are talking different kind of classes or grades, they have different kinds of system.
Yeah.
What is significant for like a more simple wood and a more advanced, more expensive wood?
Yes, that's a very good question actually. I think it mainly there are two factors that make the decision for this question. The first one is the color, and the second one is the structure of the wood. So in the background we have a couple of pieces of wood that are categorized from a standard piece of wood.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, and as you can see, it's a little bit gray, but the structure is very straight. And then you can continue, and then you see, okay, hey, the color becomes a little bit more browner, or more orange,
a little more structure.
A little bit more structure, exactly. Then you can see it's another class better. It has a little bit more texture, a better contrast, a little bit more honey. Then, thank you. Then in the next one you can see it has a little bit more of a golden color. A contrast, it comes from the bottom, goes up and straight. It looks very nice on the gun later.
Yeah.
And then finally we have our exhibition pieces. It has even stronger contrast, has a better structure, goes up, and it looks just amazing at the end.
It's really nice.
Thank you. And then finally we have two pieces that are very, very special. So these are what we call bird's eyes, because they have these little dots, and it's very, very narrow, everything, and very, very detailed. And what makes this very special is that these are a pair. So it was the root of the tree, and it was like this, and then they cut it in the middle. So when you open this up, you can see they are exactly the same. And at the end, on the guns, you have a pair of guns that look exactly the same, which is amazing. Yeah.
So perfect for a pair of shotguns.
Exactly, yeah, perfect for a pair of shotguns.
Yeah. And you have a very special piece over here.
Yes,
some story.
Exactly, yeah. So this is the piece that always reminds me of my grandfather. This piece is about 40 to 50 years old. It was produced by my grandfather back in Turkey. And it's just very special, and we will never sell this because it's a memory of my grandfather.
Yeah, I can suppose that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So no, I think it's very, very nice, and I'm really glad that you took your time to explain this to us. And if you want to learn more about this or take a look on the webpage, I will put the link here in the description under the video, so you just can click in and take a close look on Katzenmeiers stock wood.
Thank you very much for your time.
Stefan.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. If you like our videos, do not hesitate to hit the subscribe button. It means a lot to us if you support us by subscribing to our channel.